Hey, what's up, everybody? Plus Parquet. Um, uh, in this one, before I start on the new week, there's some weird races. Week number 2 of Gran Turismo 7 of 2025 got some weird races. We got the Mulsanne straight with no chicane. Like, good lord, 230 miles an hour, and the Nissan R92 or whatever the hell model it is, I forget, in Group 1. There's some weird races, but before I get into those, I just want to finish up a race from last week at Suzuka. Now, Parquet, the reason I mentioned him was because I seen him setting times in the Ferrari. The Ferrari is one of the most difficult vehicles for me to drive. I really, I do well with other MR cars, but for some reason the Ferrari just, under braking and certain things like that, I really struggle under braking and twisting the car too much and my brake bias. And there's just something with the Ferrari that I struggle mightily with it. But I saw Parquet setting a good time with it, and I was like, you know what? It's time to challenge myself. I'm really practicing my trail braking right now, and that's my biggest issue is trail braking and trying to get faster. So the Ferrari is very sensitive. So let's give it a go.
You're driving with the driving crooner, baby.
Shut up immediately.
So most of this live portion of this race, you're going to be listening to editing me, because this race was in the middle of the night and I was crazy stoned. So I was dead silent the entire race. I think I forgot I was recording. But I gave you some inputs down at the bottom. I love the Suzuka S's, and I'm working on trail braking and my finessing with inputs. So I don't know. I like showing the inputs at the bottom. That's the biggest key, is your braking inputs on corner entry speeds and things like that, or where the fastest people are making up their time. Braking, trail braking is the biggest thing. But anyway, I just want to share that. So after that pretty dicey turn 1, lap 1, I let that guy. That was a great move for him to hold the position around the outside. Very brave of him. I wasn't quite as brave as him, and that's why he won the position, but he made a mistake quickly after. Now, this is a race of the top 3. Us top 3 kind of separate from the rest of the pack at this point, and we kind of just carry on to have our own little 3-way all the way until the end. Everybody else, forget what they're doing. Who cares? But yeah, it was overall, it was a good race. It was some decent sportsmanship, I think, in the end. But this top 3 battle rages pretty much into the end. Some mistakes, and we'll see where I come out. Maybe I come out on top, maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out. But now, all right, I put the HUD back up on the screen. Let's check out some inputs at the bottom. We're gonna check out some trail braking spots and some good and bad things. Let's go.
That's it. Hey, they're chasing us. Come on, make it fun.
Anyone new that doesn't know me, I ran a G29 for 6 or 7 years since GT Sport. I've never even tried direct drive until I bought a Logitech G Pro direct drive. I know a lot of people don't have it, but if anyone has suggestions for me on the pedal, the elastomers in the G Pro pedals, I'm just trying my best to figure out the best settings to have. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a professional, so I'm still trying to learn trail braking. I have brand new pedals. I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, spoon curve and first curve are fantastic to try to practice trail braking. I'm trying to learn it. I'm as fast as I can be. Here goes some inputs at the bottom for you. I'm not very confident yet, and especially in the Ferrari. I'm trying to learn in one of the most difficult cars for me personally, because I think that would help me make it easier on the cars that I'm already good at driving. But in the end, if anyone has any really good advice for me on the elastomers that go in the G Pro pedals, that'd be fantastic. We can talk about it a little bit in the comments if you have one or know anything about it. That'd be great. But yeah, the first curve and spoon curve I'm going to try to focus on. But guys, I'm telling you, that's where you're losing your time at, I promise you. But this race heats up. If you guys hear me saying trail braking a lot, it's not just trail braking. I'm also include proper brake pedal pressure. The amount of brake you need to apply into a corner and trail braking are the huge things that are causing you to lose time. In that moment, we see some great sportsmanship there. He got loose there and backed out of it to allow me through. But unfortunately, some weird sportsmanship in the last part of the S's there. Here, I'll run it back real quick. You need to see that. But it's okay. I gave him a pass regardless. Inputs at the bottom. I'm trying really hard to work on this pedal pressure and trail braking. Really, really hard. He gets loose here, and he did the right thing. I like the sportsmanship and backing out of this instead of challenging me and slowing us both down. And I thought, oh man, that was some great sportsmanship. I really appreciate that. And then I'm not sure if he didn't realize, maybe it was net code on his side, but he bumps me pretty hard through here right before I'm about to transition the body weight back to the right and go, and he didn't slow up at all. And I thought, strange. It's okay. Dude, I suck in this Ferrari so bad. Inputs at the bottom. Can I get any more confident on spoon curve by the final lap? Can I get any more confident and try to catch these guys?
Absolutely.
I suck in this Ferrari so bad. Now, after a couple of mistakes through the Degnas, it's just that finally find a mistake from them. P1 went off the track. He just went wide on his own and found himself under pressure from me very badly. Luckily, he survived, though. We'll see it on the replay in a second. But he went off on his own and rejoined well enough. Didn't take out P2 as he took over the lead of the race. But then right here, lost my mind. I absolutely lost my mind. I don't know what I saw. I don't know what you saw. I can't explain it. Luckily, I kept calm and I just rejoined the goddamn race. But I was shook up. At this point, I was shook. You guys know, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what to tell you. You know how we do it. So he comes back on, he rejoins. Everything's okay. I think it was a little bump, but it's okay. He backed off. He surrendered P1 to him on the rejoin, which is reasonable, makes sense. Now, I'm not going to go for the move. You guys know I'm such a little bitch. I won't be aggressive. So I just give him a bump, letting him know I'm not going to try to go for this. No big deal. Well, let's just get away from the pack and let's go. Boo! What was that? I lost it. I was going to follow him right off, but I made a better choice. And again, I have to point it out, it's just solid sportsmanship. If you were wondering what happened, it was evasive maneuvers. It was just evasive. He was going to make contact, and he dumped his race to avoid punting him in turn one. Just want to highlight it. After that little kerfuffle, you guys know how it is, man. We like to follow each other off, following each other's dumbass mistakes. But I find myself 3 seconds down again. I'm focusing on myself. Can I improve? Can I improve? No pressure. Inputs at the bottom. Can you do better at spoon curve? Just do better. It's still just a lack of confidence. A lack of confidence, it really is. In this Ferrari especially. This is the first time I drove the Ferrari. Where's my odometer at? First time I drove that Ferrari in a long time. Yeah, that's the Ferrari that I own. It has 10 miles on the odometer, so I do not drive this car. 3 seconds back, over 3 seconds back. Can I catch up? All right, we're over 3 seconds down. I know we're focusing on improvements and trail braking and proper brake pedal pressure in this video and race. But what if I told you this is the fastest lap of the race, and by the end of this lap, I will be not 1.5 in front of P1 in the lead to start the final lap? What if I told you that? Would you want to go on board? Okay.
Shut up immediately.
Now, I know I'm not great. I'm in a car that I'm not used to. I got 10 miles on it. It's one of the hardest cars for me personally to drive, and I'm trying trail braking as best as I can and brake pedal pressure. So make fun of me if you want, but if this helps just one person, then it's worth it. All my inputs are going to be at the bottom. We're going to do it in cockpit with full inputs exploded at the bottom for this entire fastest lap of this race and this comeback. I just want to focus, guys, you really got to focus on not over braking and allowing yourself to turn in with brakes slightly applied, carrying the speed that the top people carry. That's what you need to focus on. Watch their inputs on your replays. When you're watching these fastest drivers, when you're watching those replay codes, I promise you, the brake input is more important than the throttle input. I promise you. Once you get used to your throttle inputs and not spinning your car out, you need to focus on your braking inputs. That is where the top 10 finds their time. I'm not the fastest driver in the world. I consistently stay about 1 second down per minute of lap time to the fastest drivers in the world. That's always my goal, to know that I'm doing just well enough. Maybe you're ahead of me. Maybe, you know, everyone's different. Maybe you're farther ahead in your journey. You know, this is where I'm at. Okay, I'm as fast as I could possibly be with traditional driving, and I need to adopt the things that the top drivers drive, how they drive. I have to. And you know, with that said, if you're watching the inputs and not listening to me yap my mouth, I've dropped that 3.5 second time. We're on it. He made a big mistake into the hairpin. That doesn't matter. And he made a big mistake coming out of this last exit. And we are side by side going over the start finish line to start the final lap. Now we're going into turn 1. He knows I have him under so much pressure. Who's going to brake? Is it going to be me or is it going to be him? What do you think? I'm in a car I'm not used to, doing my best to try something new. What do you think? Okay, so he had a big moment in the hairpin, which gave me tons of pressure behind him, and he makes his big mistake and loses it coming out of the final turn. He knows I have the run. He moves over, and we just get prepared. We know we're going to have to make this work around the outside. I've been practicing, trying my best, but there's an MR quirk that always happens to me. This Ferrari
Embarrassing.
does that to me. Anyone else have that problem? Now I'm shooken up at this point. Luckily, I was able to catch it. Now I look up and I realize, okay, there's only 1 second to the guy behind me. I better snap out of this real fast. But let's take a look at that again and see why this happens to me. Especially when I'm focusing heavily on trail braking and my brake pedal pressure with MR cars, specifically the Ferrari and other very quirky MR cars. It doesn't happen too much in FR cars, but MR cars, when I'm really being fast, this happens to me. Now, I try my best. Now, what happens is I cook the left rear, okay? I'm giving you all my inputs blown up here. Left rear gets cooked halfway through my braking process, and it spins me out. But I don't even go full brake pedal pressure. We go about 60%, down to 50, down to 30, and then watch the left rear. I'm off of brakes right now, just turning in on high speed. I reapply the brakes slightly, and the left rear starts heating up. And I'm assuming that this is the first time I really went crazy slowing this down, because this is what happens. When I say I have a difficult time in the Ferrari, this is specifically what I'm talking about. And just so you know, my brake bias is set to -3, so that's 3 notches to the front to try to resist that from happening. If I go brake bias to the rear like professional drivers do, oh, I'm in deep shit. I can't control it. So that's what it feels like in cockpit for me. And you know what? And it's really just inexperience and not enough driving experience. And that's really what it comes down to. It's not enough driving experience. Just take another look at the way the body of the car reacts. It's just, you know, I know I'm not the only one out there. I've seen, you know, that I don't know if I applied the brakes too much. Was I turning too much while applying the brakes? What specifically do I have to improve? If anyone knows and has some advice, I'd love to hear it. I mean, I'm here to help people and just, you know, take the piss out of everything and just have a good time. So you tell me, man. I'm practicing, trying my best. But in the end, my best wasn't quite good enough to win this race. I did come home P2. I did pull my head out of my ass long enough to not surrender to P3, but it was us top 3 pretty much that whole time there. Each one of us had a little bit of a moment, but I really wanted to focus on trail braking, brake pedal pressure, and that kind of thing. If anyone, again, has any advice on G Pro pedal elastomer setups, please feel free to let me know what you use, what your brake force is set at. Mine is typically somewhere between, you know, 11 and 14 typically is around where I have my brake force set on my G Pro wheelbase. Because I like it to be very sensitive, and I don't know if I have the right combination. I don't know if I'm just, you know, if I just need to practice more. And I'll be honest, dude, I only do a couple races a week, guys. I work on so many different channels and make content in so many different genres that I have a tough time having enough time with my life and a whole family that I take care of and everything to like really sit here and race nonstop. There's typically 1 or 2 days a week where I sit down and I spend, you know, a good 4 or 5 hours just sitting here practicing, playing, getting a little bit of content to create for you guys and just have some fun and try to help people get better at the game. In general, I think the biggest problem that drivers like me, those drivers that are at the top of B, bottom of A and constantly bouncing back and forth between the two, we're about as fast as we can go. And like I said, the biggest thing is that should be your target. If you're a B driver, I think your target should be, if the lap time, if this makes sense to you, you should be down 1 second per minute of lap time to those top 10 drivers. If you want to be a good competent driver, that's my opinion. Every opinion could vary, of course. So just for example, if the lap time is 1 minute and 8 seconds, I should be around 1 minute 9 seconds on that lap. If it's a 2-minute lap time and someone's running if it's at Bathurst and it's a 2-minute lap time, and someone in the top 10's doing a 2-minute flat, my goal is around a 2-minute and 2-second lap time is around what my goal is for me to feel satisfied that my pace is what it should be for what I'm capable of doing on my skill level. Now, I'm trying to make that push into that next level, and that's going to be brake pedal pressure, downshifting properly, under braking, and trail braking, and carrying speed well through the apex, and then working on consistency. Those are the things I think are the next step for those high B, low A level drivers, and that's kind of where I'm at. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Did I bin it there? Did I save it? Do I suck? I suck. I had them. All I had to do, I even had them around the outside. All I had to do was continue through the rest of the turn, and I had them around the outside, which would have turned to the inside. I had it set, but the car and my relationship with the car isn't quite there yet. But I'm really curious why the car just over-rotated like that. It clearly was the second reapplication of the brakes, even though it was only around 30 to 45% of brake pedal pressure. It still smoked that left rear. I don't know. Tell me what you think, man. I'll see you in a couple minutes. I'll see you this week.